The stars once shined for all. Every alien race had a place in the galaxy. Trade flowed. Messages flew between worlds. Peace was fragile, but it was there then. Silence had started small. One communication relay shut down, then another. Whole sectors went dark. The Zelari, a peaceful alien race from a green world called Zeller Prime, tried to send a distress signal. Their planet was dying. Strange storms wrecked their oceans. Crops turned to ash. Disease spread like fire. They begged for help. No one answered. The Galactic Council, made of the most powerful races, held a quiet meeting. After hours of silence, the decision was made. "They are no longer our concern," said one counselor. Others nodded that the Zelleri were forgotten. Their skies turned red. Winds screamed through empty cities. Their great crystal towers fell. A once-proud civilization lay in ruin. Mothers held dying children. The old whispered prayers. But no gods listened, and no help came from the stars, until one day a single ship entered orbit, small, human-made, no weapons pointed, no flags waved, just a signal, simple and clear. "This is Captain Elias Reeve, of the Earth vessel Dawnlight. We received your call. We're here to help." The Zelleri leaders were stunned. High Elder Vari stared at the flickering message. "Humans, but they're so far away. Why would they come?" Another elder, thin and sickly, coughed. "It might be a trick." Still, they allowed the ship to land. The Dawnlight touched down on a broken platform, its landing legs shaking in the storm. From the ship stepped Captain Reeve and a team of 20 humans. They carried medical supplies, food packs, and strange machines that hummed with clean energy. The Zelari watched from the shadows. A small girl, thin as a twig, stepped forward. Her name was Sarah. She looked at Reeve with wide, tired eyes. "Are you really here to help?" she whispered. Reeve knelt beside her. "Yes," he said. "We are." It began with water. The humans set up purification towers. Then came medicine. One by one, children began to smile again. Sira followed the humans everywhere. She helped carry supplies, learned their language, and told others they are not like the others. They stayed, but not everyone was happy. Above the planet, hidden in the dark, ships watched. The Galactic Council had been watching too. "They're interfering," growled Lord Kor of the Volnari Empire. This was not Earth's fight. Another counselor frowned. "If we let them continue, others will follow. There will be chaos. They must be stopped." A message was sent. It never reached Earth. Instead, a shadow passed over the human camp. Late one night, as Captain Reeve checked supplies, alarms screamed. Drones appeared from the sky. Black, fast, deadly. They dropped fire on the tents. Screams rose. Humans and Zelleri ran into the darkness. Reeve fired at one of the drones. It exploded in the sky. His team fought back, holding the line. When the smoke cleared, 5 humans were dead. 2 Zelleri villages were gone. The attackers left no message, just wreckage and silence. "We were warned," said one of Reeve's officers, but Reeve stood tall, blood on his uniform. "We're not leaving, not while they need us." The next day, Reeve called Earth. The signal took hours to cross the stars. When it reached Earth's command, the world watched. President Anya Reed stepped in front of the cameras. "If the galaxy has turned its back on the helpless," she said, "then humanity will stand alone. We will not abandon the forgotten." Her words traveled fast. Across 1,000 worlds, people listened. Some cheered, some cursed, but most wondered why had humanity helped when others did nothing. More ships from Earth arrived, engineers, doctors, builders. The humans built strong shelters. They trained the Zelari to defend themselves. Sira, once just a small girl, became a leader. She learned tactics. She learned courage. Reeve watched her with pride. "You've become strong," he said. "You showed me how," she replied, but the peace didn't last. From deep space, a fleet appeared, dark, sharp, and powerful. The Valarian ancient and greedy species had been watching. They were the ones who poisoned Zeller. They had found rare minerals beneath the soil and wanted the planet for themselves. To get it, they had destroyed the ecosystem and paid the council to stay quiet. Now, they had come to take it by force. Their voice boomed from orbit. Humans leave this world. It is not yours. Reeve stood in the command tent, fists clenched. You destroyed this planet. You killed these people. They are weak. We take what we need. Reeve turned to his crew. Prepare the defense grid. Call Earth. We fight. In orbit, Earth's ships met the Valari fleet. The battle lit the sky with fire. Sarah led ground forces, using what the humans had taught her. With courage and clever traps, they held the line. During the chaos, Sarah and her team sneaked aboard a Valari warship. They placed explosives, disabled weapons, and escaped as it exploded in the sky. Cheers rose from the Zelari camp. For the first time in years, they felt hope. The Valari ships pulled back. The galaxy watched in shock, and then something strange happened. Other alien races, inspired by Earth's courage, began to question their leaders. Protests started. Ships carrying aid flew toward forgotten planets. The power of the Galactic Council began to crack. Earth, once small and quiet in the galactic map, now stood as a symbol, not of strength but of heart. Months later, Zeller Prime began to heal. Fields of green returned. New cities rose. A new government was formed with humans as friends, not rulers. Sarah stood on a platform, giving her first speech as the ambassador. Of Zeller, to those who turned their backs. We survived without you, she said. To those who helped us, thank you. We will never forget. Captain Reeve, now older, watched from the crowd. He smiled. The stars, once silent, now echoed with a new message. Humanity remembers the forgotten and stands with them. And somewhere deep in space, the wind never stopped on Zeller Prime. It howled through dead forests and over the broken bones of cities. Every gust carried the dust of the past, a whisper of what used to be. Captain Elias Reeve stood on a cliff near the human camp, staring at what was left of the Zelari capital. Towers that once reached the clouds now leaned like old trees ready to fall. Below, empty streets stretched across the wasteland. The sky was dull gray, always waiting to rain acid. The smell of ash never went away. Behind him, the dawnlight was unloading crates. Food, water, medicine, tools. Each item was a lifeline. Each item brought a chance. Dr. Lena Moros, the ship's medical officer, joined him. The sickness is spreading faster. We need clean zones now. Reeve nodded. Then we make them. Set up new shelters away from the poisoned areas. Use the old stadium. Lena frowned. We don't have enough filters or workers. The team's exhausted. Reeve's voice was quiet but firm. We'll find a way. We always do. Down below in the ruins of the city, Sierra moved quickly between tents. Her hands carried 2 boxes of medicine. The human doctors trusted her now. She had learned fast how to clean wounds, how to read their simple machines, how to comfort the dying. She wasn't a child anymore. In one of the shelters, she met an old Zelari man named Thal. He had lost both his sons in the first storm years ago. His skin was cracked, his eyes were empty. Is it true? He asked her. Are they really helping? Or is this a trick? Sarah opened the medicine box. They help every day. They sleep less than us. They bring food they don't eat themselves. If this is a trick, it is the kindest one I've ever seen. Thal smiled for the first time in weeks. Then maybe we are not forgotten. Days passed. The human team pushed forward. New water towers rose. Tunnels were dug to store clean supplies underground. Drones scanned the land for safer places to live. But every step forward came with a cost. Heat waves rolled in from the deserts. Solar panels cracked. Several Zelari workers collapsed from exhaustion. The humans gave away their own rations to keep them alive. Reeve met daily with his officers, spreading thin resources across impossible needs. We need more help, said Lieutenant Harper, pointing at a supply chart. We can't hold this planet with 20 people. Not if we want to build, not just survive. I know, Reeve said, but Earth's government moves slow. We're on our own for now. And then, something strange happened. One morning, a transmission came through from deep space. It wasn't from Earth. It was encrypted. Unknown origin. Reeve listened carefully. A voice spoke in perfect galactic standard. Withdraw from Zeller Prime. Your actions break interstellar law. You have 1 week. No name. No face. Just a warning. The team fell silent. Who sent that? Lena asked. Could be council, could be mercenaries, could be worse, Harper said. Reeve played the message again. Withdraw or die. He looked at the crew. We won't leave, but we'll prepare. They started reinforcing the camp. More sentry turrets, backup power lines, evacuation tunnels for the Zellery civilians. The message was no bluff. 3 nights later, just before dawn, the skies opened. Black drones poured in, small, fast, and silent. They flew low over the camp, dropping tiny bombs that exploded with sickening green fire. The alarm screamed. Lights turned red. Human guards opened fire. One drone hit a supply crate. Flames shot high into the air. Sarah was trapped near the fire. Smoke filled her lungs. She screamed as another drone flew straight toward her. A blast of blue light knocked it from the sky. Reeve pulled her down behind a metal crate. Stay with me, he yelled, coughing hard. Together, they crawled through the burning field. Drones kept falling from the sky as human turrets, locked on explosions, rocked the camp. The ground shook. Then silence, just like that, the attack ended. The drones vanished into the clouds, 7 dead. 4 humans, 3 Zellery, dozens injured, supplies destroyed, but they were still alive. The next day, Earth Command finally responded. They had seen the news. They had seen the fire, and they were sending help. Ships were on the way. Supplies, soldiers, engineers, and news spread fast across the stars. On neutral worlds, citizens whispered in markets. Did you hear? Humans fought for a dying race? Others asked, why would they do that? There's nothing to gain. A few said, maybe that's the point. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council met in silence. Lord Kor of the Valkyrie Empire slammed his fist on the table. They defy us. Earth grows bold. This must stop. A shadowy figure in the back spoke. Let them make noise. We own the skies above Zeller. When the time comes, we'll end it. That figure was a Valari agent, and he had plans. Back on Zeller, Syrah gathered a group of young Zeller. They wanted to help, wanted to fight, wanted to build a future. We don't need to be saved, Syrah told them. We fight beside them. We earned this second chance. She trained them using what she learned from the humans, drones, weapons, radios. Every day she grew stronger. One night she asked Reeve, why did you come? Reeve was quiet for a moment. I was a soldier, he said. I saw too many wars, too many lies. When I heard your call, I thought maybe, just once, we could do something right. Syrah looked up at the stars. You did? But peace never lasts. A human scout ship patrolling near the edge of Zellery space was destroyed. No warning, no survivors. Earth's reinforcements were still days away. Then, on the horizon, black dots appeared. Dozens. A fleet, Valari warships, heavily armed, cruel, silent. They hovered in orbit, waiting. A new message arrived, this time with a face. A cold, pale Valari admiral stared through the screen. You delay the inevitable, he said. This planet holds secrets your kind does not understand. We have claimed it. Leave now, or burn with it. Reeve didn't blink. We won't leave. The admiral smiled. Then you will be forgotten with them. The human camp turned into a fortress. Every wall was reinforced. Entire weapons were loaded. Zellery fighters took positions beside human marines. Sarah stood at the front, armor on, rifle in hand. She wasn't just a survivor now. She was a warrior. The humans and Zellery stood shoulder to shoulder, facing the coming storm. Reeve spoke one last time before the battle began. We didn't come here to be heroes. We didn't come here to win medals. We came here because it was the right thing to do. If we fall together. But if we stand, then maybe, just maybe, we show the galaxy what it means to be human. And from behind him, hundreds of voices rose as one. We stand. The skies darkened. The enemy didn't speak again. They only watched high above the skies of Zeller Prime. The black Valari fleet hung in silence, like vultures above a dying animal. They did not attack, not yet, but they did not leave either. The silence was worse than any threat. Inside the human command tent, tension filled the air like smoke. Captain Reeve leaned over the digital map, his face pale under the glow of the screens. Valari's ships surrounded the Planet 12 heavy destroyers, 7 assault carriers, and 1 command vessel larger than a city. "They're waiting for something," said Lieutenant Harper, eyes locked on the scanner. "Waiting for what?" asked Lena. "Reinforcements. Orders." Reeve stared at the blinking red dots on the screen. "No, they want us to panic. They want us to break first." But Reeve wasn't panicking. He was planning. Outside the camp walls, the Zellari people moved like shadows, quiet, fast, determined. Most of them had never held weapons before. Now, they carried rifles, launched drones, and followed orders from human soldiers. Syrah led a team of 30 volunteers through the ruins of an old city hall. Her boots crushed glass as she entered the dark building, flashlight scanning walls, painted with centuries-old history. "This was once our proudest building," she whispered. "Now, it's just bones." Her teammate, a young Zellari named Drex, looked nervous. "Why are we here, Syrah?" She pointed to the floor. "This building is made from old-world stone, heavy, thick. If we build underground shelters here, we can hide our families from orbital fire. And if they find us," Syrah looked at him, "then we fight above, not below." Back at camp, Reeve received a message from Earth. The reinforcements had launched, but it would take 5 days to arrive. 5 days with a Valari fleet above them. "We won't last 5 days if they decide to strike," Harper said. "We're not just going to sit here," Reeve replied. "We need answers." He turned to Lena. "Can you trace the origin of those first drones?" Lena blinked. "Why?" "Because if we find out who launched them, maybe we find out why this war started." That night, while the camp rested, Reeve and a small team took a stealth shuttle toward the northern mountains of Zeller. It was a place untouched by humans, so fair a no-fly zone since the first crash scans. "Is this even safe?" one of the pilots asked. "No," Reeve answered, "but it's necessary." They landed near a black crater, a giant hole punched into the ground, like something from a nightmare. Around it, old alien tech lay buried in the dirt. Strange towers, broken domes, things not of Zellari design. Lena scanned the soil, her eyes widened. "This tech, it's Valari, but old, really old." Reeve stepped forward, brushing dust off. A large metal plate, symbols glowed faint blue. "This isn't just an outpost," he muttered. "It's a mining site." "But the Zellari never said anything about mining," Lena said. "Because they didn't know," Reeve replied. "The Valari were here before them, maybe centuries ago, and they left something behind. They entered one of the half-buried domes. Inside, machines pulsed softly. Not dead, not alive, just waiting." "What is this place?" whispered a soldier. Lena placed her scanner on the ground. The data came in fast. "Oh no," she breathed. "What is it?" "This entire mountain range is rich in xanthium." Reeve frowned. "That's impossible. It's used to power weapons, ships." "Exactly," Lena said. "The Valari poisoned the planet, destroyed the Zellari, because they wanted this." Reeve's eyes darkened. "So this war isn't about saving lives. It's about stealing power." Meanwhile, up in orbit, the Valari command ship pulsed with quiet activity. Inside, Admiral Korzek stood before a large screen. Behind him, rows of officers worked without speaking. A messenger entered. "Sir, the humans are investigating Site 13. Korzek didn't turn. Let them. They may find the core." Korzek's voice turned cold. "Then, when they do, we will strike." On the surface, Reeve's team returned to the camp. He called an emergency meeting with the Zellari leaders and his officers. He explained everything. The old mining site, the Xanthium, the Volari plan. High Elder Varys' hands trembled. "You're saying they destroyed our world for fuel?" Reeve nodded. "They see you as insects standing between them and power." Anger filled the room. Syrah stood up, her voice shaking. "Then we won't run anymore." She turned to the crowd. "They thought we were weak. But we're still here, and we have friends now." Reeve stepped beside her. "We have 5 days. Earth is sending help. But if we want to survive, we hold the line until then." The next morning, the skies broke open. The Valari fleet descended. Their ships didn't speak. They fired. Explosions ripped through the outer zones of the camp. Giant red beams cut across the land. Buildings fell. Shields shimmered under the pressure. The humans were ready, and so were the Zellari missiles, launched from hidden turrets. Drones flew up like angry wasps. Fighters scrambled from underground hangars, the air filled with light and fire. Sarah led her squad through the chaos. They took cover behind rubble, returning fire. A Valari drop pod landed nearby. She signaled her team to spread out. Drex fired at the pod's hatch as it opened. Sarah threw a thermal grenade inside. The blast rocked the street. "We hold this." "Ground," she shouted. "For every Zalari who died, silent. We make them hear us now." Reeve fought from the front lines. His armor was burned. His rifle jammed once, twice, but he didn't fall back. "Don't let them through," he yelled. "Protect the civilians." The battle raged for hours. Valari soldiers, cold and machine-like, moved in waves, but the humans fought like fire. The Zalari fought like thunder. Together, they held Dot just before midnight. The Valari fleet paused in the command ship. Admiral Korzek frowned. "They were supposed to break," he said. "Why haven't they broken?" A young officer replied. "They fight like nothing we've seen, with heart, with unity." Korzek's face twisted with rage. "Then we crush them. Prepare the final strike." But far behind the Valari fleet, a new light appeared. Earth's reinforcements had arrived, dozens of ships sleek, silver-armed. To the teeth, the Earth Armada had come. The radio lit up. A deep voice spoke. "This is Commander Ryland of the 3rd Earth Fleet. You've made a mistake. Stand down or be erased." The Valari paused, then fired. The sky above Zeller turned into a storm of color. On the ground, Reeve looked up and smiled. They made it. Syrah, covered in dust and blood, stood beside him. The sky was on fire above Zeller Prime. Human warships clashed with the Valari fleet. Red and blue light lit up the atmosphere as missiles screamed across space. Some exploded far above. Others rained down like falling stars, hitting the surface. With Thunderdot, Captain Reeve watched from the control center, the screen shaking with every blast. "Status report," he shouted. "For Earth ships are down," said Harper. "Valari are focusing fire on civilian zones." Reeve gritted his teeth. "They're trying to break our will, get our shields up, divert every drone to defensive mode. No one breaks." Outside, the Human-Zalari Alliance fought with everything they had. From the underground tunnels near the stadium, Syrah led her squad through smoke and debris. Laser bolts flashed over her head as she ducked behind rubble. "Push forward," she ordered. A Valari attack, Walker three-legged and metal skin stomped into view, firing blasts of red plasma. It tore through walls like paper. Syrah and Drex circled behind it. "EMP grenade," she said now. Drex threw it. The Walker froze for 2 seconds. That was all Syrah needed. She jumped up, slid beneath it, and fired her rifle into the exposed vent under its armor. The machine sparked, screamed, then collapsed. Cheers erupted behind her, but Syrah didn't smile. She kept moving. "We're not done." Back at command, Reeve studied a new data stream from orbit. Earth's fleet was holding, but just barely. The Valari ships had heavier armor, more advanced tech. Why are they so determined to take this planet? Harper muttered. Reeve stared at the old mining zone on the screen. "Because what's under our feet is worth more than 100 worlds." Lena ran in, her hands full of papers and datapads. "We found something," she said. Reeve turned. "There's a deep core vault below the old dome we scanned in the mountains. It's sealed hard, but we cracked the first layer. And guess what's inside? Xenthium." Reeve guessed, double quotes. "Yes. Pure, untouched. Enough to power an entire fleet." Reeve sighed. "That's why they're here," Lena nodded. "And if we can get it first, we might have a way to end this." Meanwhile, inside the Valari flagship, Admiral Korzek paced like a shadow. "Too much resistance," he growled. "This should have been easy." His science officer approached. "We've confirmed humans have discovered the vault. They might reach the core before us." Korzek's red eyes glowed. "Then we destroy it." He turned to his crew. "Launch the eraser bomb. Drop it on Site 13. Burn everything." Reeve's radio crackled. "Captain," said a voice from an orbiting Earth ship, "we've intercepted a launch. Something big, heading toward the mountain vault." Reeve's blood ran cold. "Get me visuals." The screen lit up. A giant black object fell from the sky, silent, smooth, glowing, faintly green at the seams. "What is that?" Harper asked. Reeve stepped back. "It's a planet killer, An eraser bomb, Lena gasped. If that hits the vault, it'll create a chain reaction. The Zenthium will explode. The mountain will vanish. Everything within 100 miles gone. Reeve turned to the mic. All units near the northern ridge, evacuate now. Syrah, already moving her team near the vault, heard the message. Her heart dropped. We're too close, she told Drex. We won't outrun that blast. But we can't let it hit the vault, Drex said. We'll lose everything. Syrah made a decision. She opened her comm. Captain Reeve, this is Syrah. I'm going up the ridge. I can reach the surface control tower. I'll try to disable the targeting beacon. Reeve's voice came through instantly. No, Syrah, it's too dangerous. She closed the channel, then ran. The ridge was sharp and cold. Wind howled as Syrah climbed the shattered staircase of the old Zelari tower. Lightning flashed in the sky. The bomb's glow grew brighter, dashed closer. She reached the top. Broken panels, a shattered antenna. Somewhere buried under dust was the targeting beacon the Velari used to guide their bomb. She dug with her hands. Time was running out. Drex reached the tower just behind her. I told you not to come, she said. He shrugged. Someone has to make sure you don't get all the glory. They found the beacon, but it was locked, encrypted. Alien tech designed to resist tampering. Syrah stared at the controls. Too complex, she said. We'll never hack it. Looked up. The bomb was seconds away. Then we shoot it, he said. He raised his rifle and fired at the beacon. Sparks flew. Nothing happened. He fired again. The light blinked once, then went dark. The bomb mid-fall drifted off path. A sudden shift, and then a white light exploded in the sky. The eraser bomb detonated in the clouds. Still powerful, still deadly, but far from the vault. The shockwave threw Syrah and Drex off their feet. They hit the ground hard as glass rained down from the sky. But the vault was safe. They had done it. Reeve watched the blast from the command tent. Did they make it? He asked. No answer. Then a call came in. This is Syrah. We're alive. A wave of relief swept through the camp. Reeve smiled for the first time in days. The Velari fleet reeled in confusion. Korzek roared in rage. They stopped the bomb. Impossible. His second-in-command spoke quietly. Earth's reinforcements have reached full strength. If we stay, we'll lose. Korzek looked at the battle reports. Human ships now flanked both sides of his fleet. Casualties rising. Weapons overheating. He hissed. But retreat. The Velari ships turned. They vanished into the stars, tails burning. It was over. For now, 3 days later, the Zelari rebuilt what they could. Tents were replaced with steel. Broken streets cleared. Graves were marked. The Earth fleet remained in orbit as peacekeepers. Aid poured in from other human colonies. Even a few alien races, seeing humanity's courage, sent small teams to help. Reeve walked through the camp, nodding to survivors. His uniform was dirty, his arms still in a sling, but his eyes were calm. He found Syrah sitting near the edge of the old city, watching the sunrise. Beautiful, she said. He sat beside her. We never gave up. She looked at him. You could have. We don't leave people behind, Reeve said. She nodded slowly. Neither do we. Not anymore. Far in the distance, a group of Zelari children played near a rebuilt fountain. Laughter returned to the planet for the first time in years. Zeller Prime. The war was over, but the silence that followed was heavier than the battle itself. Zeller Prime, a planet once covered in flame and smoke, now lay still. The wind was soft, the skies had cleared, and for the first time in years, the Zelari saw the stars again. But they were not the same stars. Not to them, to the survivors. The stars were no longer cold and distant. Somewhere, out there, Earth had answered. Earth had come when no one else did. Humanity had stood beside them when the galaxy had turned away. Now, the time to rebuild had come, and so had new challenges. Inside the new Human Zelari command building, Captain Elias Reeve stood over a planning table. Around him were officers, engineers, and young Zelari, leaders including Syrah, now wearing a simple gray uniform, marked with Earth's emblem on one side and the Zelari Phoenix on the other. We've cleared most of the southern zone, said Harper, but food distribution is still slow, Syrah added. Our storage systems were destroyed in the first wave. We're trying to build new ones, but we don't have enough stabilizers. Half the shipments spoil. Reeve nodded. We'll reroute drones from the Earth cargo lines, and we'll double protection on all food depots. Lena entered the room with a report in her hand. You'll want to see this, she said. She placed the paper on the table. It showed a map of the nearby system Zeller, Earth's colonies, and a third area now glowing red. Reeve's eyes narrowed. What is it? Movement, Lena said. Ships, not Valari, but someone else. Old codes, hiding behind fake signals. Pirates? Asked Harper. No, Lena said. Council spies. Sarah frowned. I thought the Galactic Council was falling apart. It is, said Reeve, but snakes still crawl even when the head is cut. In the ruins of Zeller's old academy, human and Zelleri children now learned together. The academy was being rebuilt, room by room. It had no roof yet, but it had students. Sarah visited daily. She spoke to the young. She gave them hope. One afternoon, a little girl named Vara asked, Miss Sarah, why did the humans help us? Sarah thought for a moment. Then she smiled softly. Because they remember what it feels like to be alone, she said. That night, Sarah stood outside the academy, staring at the stars. Drex joined her. They're watching us, he said. No, she replied, but let them watch. We're not hiding anymore. Far above, a cloaked ship drifted beyond the edge of Zelari space. Inside, two figures stood before a glowing screen. Human presence is growing, one said. The Zelleri are organizing, stronger than before. They must not be allowed to rise, the other said coldly. Orders. The taller one replied, We do what we always do. Disrupt, divide, destroy from the inside. The next day, things went wrong. A large food convoy marked for a village of 6 Zelari was found burned outside a canyon, crates destroyed. Drivers gone at first. It looked like a bandit attack, but Lena's team found something strange. Laser marks, clean, surgical, military grade, not raiders, she said. This was planned, Sarah clenched her fists. They want to make us fear. Again, but we won't, Reeve said. We'll protect every convoy, every village. We don't run from shadows. He ordered scout drones to scan the nearby systems. He doubled patrols, but the attacks continued. Water stations were sabotaged. Communication towers jammed. People began to whisper. Maybe the Valari are still here. Maybe Earth will leave. Maybe we were fools to trust again. Sarah stood before a gathering in the capital ruins. She spoke loudly, clearly. Hear your fear. I feel it too, but fear is what they want. They want us to divide. They want us to forget who we are. She pointed toward the human camp nearby. They stood with us when we had nothing. We stand with them now. The crowd was silent. Then someone clapped, then another, and soon the sound filled the air. That night, Reeve received a secure message. From Earth, it was marked Eyes Only. He opened it in his quarters. The message was from Commander Ryland. Captain, Council remnants are active in your region. We believe they are arming rebel cells to destabilize Zeller. Your orders are to identify and eliminate the threat quietly. The galaxy is watching. If we move too loud, we invite war. You're on your own. Reeve leaned back, rubbing his eyes. Of course, he muttered. Always on our own. The next day, Reeve gathered a special team. Humans, Zelari trusted, quiet. We're hunting ghosts, he said. If there are council operatives here, we find them. If they're arming rebels, we cut the line. Sarah nodded. Where do we start? Where the attacks begin, he said. The canyon. They set out before dawn. The canyon was deep and narrow. The sun barely reached the bottom. Sarah's boots crunched on dry stone. Her rifle hung across her back. Drex flew a small drone ahead. Clear so far. Then something flashed on the screen. A heat signature. Multiple dot, they were not alone. Reeve raised his hand. Wait, he whispered. Listen. Voices, low mechanical, speaking in a language only council members used. An encrypted dialect used for covert ops. They moved carefully, and then they saw it, a hidden base carved into the canyon wall. Small, but high-tech. Inside weapons, supplies, stolen uniforms, and aliens. Council agents. 10 of them working fast. Arming new drones, Reeve raised his rifle. We end it here. They attacked. Quick, clean. silent. The firefight lasted only minutes. Sarah took out 2 Drex, disabled the power grid. Reeve stormed the command room. When it was over, the base was quiet. One agent still breathed. Reeve stood over him. "Why?" he asked. The agent coughed blood. "The galaxy belongs to the strong." Reeve stared. "And who decides that?" The agent didn't answer. Back in the capital, Reeve called a meeting. He placed weapons from the base on the table. These were Council weapons. They're funding sabotage to break the Zellari before they rise. Gasps, murmurs, shock. Sira stepped forward, but they failed. "We are not broken." Reeve looked at the crowd. "We stand not just for Earth, not just for Zeller. We stand for every forgotten world. Every voice the galaxy tried to silence." Cheers followed, real cheers, not forced, not desperate, but hopeful. That evening, Sira returned to the academy. The little girl, Vara, ran to her with a flower. "Are we safe now?" she asked. Sira knelt down. "Not fully, but safer. Will the bad people come back?" "Maybe," she said honestly. "But they'll find us ready," Vara smiled, "because we have friends." Sira nodded. "Yes, and because we've learned to be strong." As the sun set, the streets glowed with soft lights. The city, once broken, was alive again, in the sky above. Earth ships remained in orbit, watching guarding, and deep in the rebuilt camp, Captain Elias Reeve wrote his final report of the day. "The light has returned to this world, but the galaxy is still full." The days after the battle felt like a fragile dream. Zeller Prime had survived the fire. Earth's soldiers had helped rebuild what was broken. The skies were quiet, and the people smiled again, but deep beneath the calm. The storm was gathering. Captain Elias Reeve sat in the war room. The lights were low. Screens displayed news from across the galaxy. Trouble was growing. He watched quietly on one screen. A riot on a planet called Triver Ix. Protesters waved signs showing Earth's symbol with a red cross over it. On another screen, 2 alien diplomats shouting during a broadcast. "This is human expansion," one said. "They help where no one else will." The other replied, "Help is just the beginning. Then they take control." Reeve leaned back in his chair. "It begins," he said softly. The next morning, Sira walked through the center of the capital city. Children ran past her. New markets were opening. Music played softly in the wind, but something felt different. People stared longer. Some whispered. She walked into the council chamber, where Zellari leaders and human officers met daily now. Lena greeted her. "You look troubled." Sarah sat. "Some people believe we're being ruled." Lena's eyes narrowed. "By us? Yes. They say Earth's help is too much. That we've become dependent." Lena said nothing at first. "Then that's what the enemy wants. Doubt, division. We need to handle this carefully." Later, Reeve called a meeting. "This is bigger than Zeller now," he told his officers and the Zellari Council. "The Galactic Council may be gone, but the empires still exist. The Valari, the Kreeth Dominion, even rogue council factions. They see Earth's actions as a threat." Sarah spoke up. "So what do? We prepare, and we prove we're not conquerors." "We didn't come here to take, we came to stand," Harper added. "We'll need allies. If a war starts again, we can't fight it alone." Reeve nodded. "Then let's send a message." Within a day, Earth diplomats began reaching out. To minor species, neutral planets. Independent colonies, some replied with silence. Some replied with fear, but one planet answered with interest. Dathros, home to the peaceful Voran species once traders, now isolated after council betrayal. Reeve and Sira prepared to travel there. "You're going to Harper?" asked. Reeve nodded. "I need them to see this isn't a military expansion. It's personal." The journey to Dathros took 3 days. The Silver Dawn, a sleek diplomatic cruiser, cut through space like a knife. Sira stood near the observation window, staring at the stars. "This is the first time I've left Zeller," she said quietly. Reeve stood beside her. "The galaxy is much bigger than they told you." She looked at him, "And much more dangerous." He nodded, but not hopeless. Dathros was green, warm, and covered in rivers. They were greeted by tall, white-robed Voran leaders. Their faces were smooth, eyes glowing faint blue. "Humans," one said. "You come with gifts." or warnings?" Reeve bowed politely. "We come with truth." They entered the council hall. No weapons, no armor, just open hands. Reeve explained what happened on Zeller, the Valari, the betrayals, the silence of the galaxy, and Earth's choice to act. "We didn't come to take power," he said. "We came to stop evil. And we won't stand by while others suffer." The Vorin listened silently. Then one elder spoke. "The galaxy is sick, and when a body is sick, every cure looks like a threat." "But we are not poisoned," Sira said, stepping forward. "I was dying. My people were lost, and humans saved us not. Because they had to, but because it was right." That changed everything. The Vorin agreed to speak with Earth anew. Alliance began, but someone else had been watching. From a hidden base near Dathros, deep in the shadows, a signal was sent. A message, a name. Project Eclipse. Back on Zeller, while Reeve and Sarah were away, Harper noticed something strange. Supply numbers weren't adding up. Materials were vanishing. Drones gave false reports. One night, he followed a cargo truck outside the main camp. It led to an old crater abandoned since the war. Inside, he found a group of Zellery rebels armed, organizing. He raised his weapon, freeze, but one of them stepped forward. "We don't want war, but we don't want masters either." "You think Earth is here to control you?" Harper asked. "No," the rebel said. "But when you feed a starving world, it forgets how to grow its own food." Harper lowered his gun. "Then why hide? Because not everyone listens. We don't hate Earth, but we must protect our right to lead our own future." Harper returned without violence. But the message haunted him. When Reeve and Sira returned, Harper told them everything. "There's rebellion," he said. "Not violent yet, but proud, scared, divided." Sarah understood they fear becoming slaves again, she said. "They need a voice," Reeve said. "Someone they trust." "You mean me?" Sira asked. "Yes, you're Zalari. But you fought with us, lived with us. If anyone can unite both sides, it's you." The next day, Sira stood before thousands at the rebuilt center square. "Some say we've lost our freedom," she said. "Others say we are rising." She looked around. "They're both right. We are changing, but change is not weakness. It's strength." She raised her hand. "Do not fear our allies. Fear only the return of silence. Fear the day when no one answers again. And promise Myth, that day comes, we will answer." For others, a cheer rose, not just from Zelari, but from humans too. That night, a new star appeared in orbit. It was not a ship. It was a satellite. Unknown design. Watching. Lena scanned it. Signal locked. Origin, unknown. No markings. Reeve stared at it. The strange satellite had no flag, no name, and no signals, just a cold metal eye that watched from the shadows of Zeller's orbit. Captain Reeve stood in the observation tower, staring at it through the glass. Behind him, Lena ran scans again. And again? "It's not from Earth," she confirmed. "Not Valari either. But its tech is advanced. More advanced than anything in this sector. Then whose is it?" Reeve asked. Lena hesitated. "I don't know." Later that night, Reeve called a private meeting. Only his most trusted officers and Sira were present. He played a short audio clip. It was from intercepted radio chatter near Dathros. A deep voice spoke calmly, almost emotionless. "Phase 1 is complete. The humans have taken the bait. Project Eclipse is active. Zeller will not rise." Silence, then static. Everyone in the room froze. Harper spoke first. "They knew we were going to Dathros. That means they're inside our systems." Reeve nodded, or worse, inside our ranks. The next morning, Sarah visited the academy again. She smiled as she watched the children play. But something felt off. Two teachers whispered when she entered. They stopped when they saw her. Sira walked over. "Is something wrong?" One of them finally spoke. "There's a rumor that Earth has placed spies in our classrooms." "That's not true," Sira said. "I know," the teacher said quietly. "But rumors are like fire in dry grass. They spread fast." At the same time, far from the city, a hidden research lab deep underground was receiving a visitor. He wore black armor. His face was hidden by a silver mask. He moved without sound. Scientists bowed as he passed. One of them, A pale, nervous-looking alien gave him a report. "The prototype is nearly complete," the scientist said. "We just need the core." "Use the vault on Zeller," the masked figure replied. "But the humans, they will be distracted," the figure said. "Let them think they are winning. Let them build. Then we erase everything." Back at command, Lena finally cracked part of the satellite's code. She stood before Reeve, pale and shocked. "It's not just a spy satellite," she said. "It's part of a larger system, a network. Someone is mapping the entire sector and feeding that data into something called Eclipse Core." "What's the core?" Reeve asked. "I don't know yet, but every planet that's had Eclipse satellites near it suffered an attack weeks later." Reeve leaned forward. "Then we have to find the core and destroy it." Meanwhile, on Earth, Council survivors gathered in secret. Their former admiral named Solus Vel-watched a hologram of Zeller. "The humans think they've built peace," he said, "but peace without order is chaos." Another council member spoke. "Project Eclipse is growing, but are we ready for open war?" Solus Vel turned, his eyes like ice. "We don't need war. We only need fear. Fear will make the galaxy turn." On Earth, he smiled. "And Zeller will be the first example." Reeve ordered a stealth mission. Lena, Harper, and a small team took the Shadola, a black scout ship, into deep space. Their goal: track the satellite's signal. Back to its source, Sero stayed behind to lead Zellari defense drills. Before the Shadowlight left, Reeve stood on the launch deck and gave Lena one last order. "If we lose contact, do not return. Find the core, even if it costs everything." Lena nodded, then the ship vanished into the dark. The journey took 2 days. In the silence between stars, Lena watched as signal after signal led them to a dead zona cold region where even light seemed to fade. Then they found it. Floating near a dying sun was a massive black structure. It looked like a ship, but it had no engines, no heat, no sound, just presence. Harper stared at it. "That's not a base. That's a tomb." The signal confirmed it. Eclipse Core. Inside, thousands of drones slept waiting. Giant machines hung in zero gravity, each marked with an old Galactic Council symbol, crossed out with black lines. "It's a war machine," Lena whispered. "But not like any we've seen. It's designed to hijack other systems, control fleets, crash economies, spread fear before even firing a shot." They took as many scans as they could. Then the ship spoke. A voice came over their intercom comm. "You found us, that was expected. But you cannot stop what has already begun." Suddenly, alarms screamed, missiles locked on from hidden ports. Lena shouted, "Evasive!" The Shadowlight spun hard, just as the first wave of fire slammed into space behind them. Harper launched countermeasures. They dodged barely, but the ship was damaged. "We're not making it back fast," Lena said. "We'll need help." Back on Zeller, Sierra led a group of young fighters in training. Suddenly, alerts blared across the base. Unidentified ships had entered orbit. They weren't firing, they were broadcasting. Reeve rushed into the control room. The message played on every screen. A masked figure stood in silence. Behind him, images of Earth ships, Zellari cities, and then destruction. He spoke. "The humans pretend to protect you, but where they go, fire follows. Join us, or be part of the next fire." The signal ended. Fear spread again. Like poison. Sierra took the mic. She stood before a camera and spoke to every citizen on Zeller. "I will not lie to you," she said. "There are enemies hiding in the dark, and yes, danger is coming." She looked straight into the lens. "But it is not the humans who bring fire. It is the cowards who run from peace and hide behind lies. We have faced fire before, and we survived." She raised her hand. "We are not a colony. We are not victims. We are Zellari, and we stand with those who stood with us." The next morning, the Shadowlight limped back into orbit. Reeve and Sierra were there when the hatch opened. Lena stepped out, bruised but alive. "We found it," she said. "We know where Eclipse is based, but we have a problem." She handed Reeve a data chip. "It's growing faster than we thought. If they activate the full network, they can blind every system in this quadrant." Reeve didn't blink. "Then we strike first." He called Earth. He called VOR Randot. He called every colony that still remembered what it felt like to be forgotten. His message was simple. We saved one world. Now let's save more. Together. And far away, in the shadows of the eclipse core, the council hall on Zeller was crowded. Humans, Zelari Vorin, even delegates from minor planets, small voices of the galaxy, who had long been ignored now, gathered around a single table. Captain Elias Reeve stood at the head, a scar across his cheek, his voice firm. "We can't wait," he said. "Eclipse is growing. Its core is hidden near a dying sun, but its reach extends across this region. If we don't act soon, it will blind entire systems before we even see them coming." The Vorin leader, Selenitha, leaned forward. Her voice was calm, but sharp. "Earth fights for justice. We see this, but many in the galaxy only see power. They will not follow you." "We don't want them to follow us," Reeve replied. "We want them to stand with us." Syrah stepped forward beside him. "We were left to die. Humanity saved us. Now, we fight not just for Zeller or Earth, but for every world that still has a voice." There was silence, and the Vorin leader stood. "We will stand." And with those words, the alliance was born. Across the stars, messages were sent to broken colonies, silent moons, refugee fleets. Scientists in exile, some responded with caution, some with fear, but others answered with hope. One such message reached a small moon, called Terozetta, forgotten research outpost. Their reply was simple. "We've seen the eclipse signals too. We're with you." But Eclipse was not silent either. At that very moment, deep inside the core station, masked agents watched the Alliance broadcasts. Solas Vel, the former Council Admiral and now leader of Project Eclipse, stood before a giant screen. His voice was cold. "They form a coalition," he said. "As expected, let them believe they are strong. We only need one strike to scatter them." His officer nodded. "Zeller, no," Vel said. "Too obvious. Hit the root. Hit Earth." The officer blinked. Earth Vel's eyes glowed, but not with fire. Not yet. Hit their belief. Break their unity. On Earth, within Central Command, alarms suddenly screamed. "Mainframe breach. Communications down." Power flickered across 3 major cities. At first, it looked like a power outage. Then the broadcast began. Every screen turned black. A figure appeared silver. Mask, hooded robe, no voice, only a message. "You connected the stars. Now feel the weight of their silence." Within seconds, 15 colonies lost contact with Earth. Supply routes were blocked, ships were rerouted into dead space. Confusion spread like fire. Reeve received the report at midnight. He slammed his fist into the table. "They've hacked our relay networks, cut our lines to the colonies. If they hold those channels long enough, our outer settlements will fall." Lena brought up a map. 3 nodes control everything. Relay 17 near Mars. Station Aegis above Kepler-4 and the old lunar vault system, Reeve pointed. "Then we hit back." "But we can't move fast enough," Harper said. "By the time we reach even one relay, they'll move." Syrah stood. "What if we don't wait for them to move?" Everyone turned. "We bait them," she said. "Make them think one of the relays is more important than it is. When they attack, we strike from behind." Reeve smiled. "Make them chase shadows." The next day, the Alliance began a secret operation, Operation Ghostline. While the enemy focused on a fake power node near Station Aegis, a small stealth team including Harper Drex and Tavoran commandos slipped through Eclipse's jamming. Field near Mars. Inside Relay 17, the air was cold and silent. All lights were red, systems offline. No movement, but as they moved deeper inside, the team found something unexpected. Bodies, human engineers. Dead but not shot, their minds wiped. By neural blasts. One Vorin whispered, "This is not sabotage. This is extermination." They reached the core console. Lena's voice came through the comms. "Insert the code we sent you. If you trigger it at the same time as I hit the Earthside control, we may be able to reboot the relay." Harper hesitated. Activated the sequence. The lights flickered. Then nothing. Then a hum. Power returned. Relay 17 was back online. Across space, the screen on Reeve's desk lit up. A simple green signal blinked. Link restored. Cheers erupted in command. But the celebration ended quickly. Lena gasped. No. No. What is it? Reeve asked. She turned pale. It wasn't the real eclipse signal. It was a copy. A fake relay. Syrah's eyes widened. Then where's the real one? An explosion rocked the command building. Dust filled the air. People screamed. Reeve hit the floor as the roof above cracked. Emergency lights came on. Outside, smoke rose. From the skyport, someone had triggered a bomb in the chaos. A message came through. It was from one of the refugee ships recently docked at Zeller. A young woman with sharp eyes appeared on screen. "I'm sorry," she said. "I didn't want to do this, but they found my family. They told me if I placed the bomb, they'd let them live." Her hands shook, tears fell. They lied. They killed them anyway. Then the screen went dark. Reeve stood in the ruined command room. He was bleeding from the arm, his uniform torn. Syrah helped him up. "They're not fighting us like soldiers," she said. "They're using fear, guilt, division." Reeve nodded. "Then we stopped thinking like soldiers too." He turned to the team. "We don't win this by brute force. We win it by making them visible. Eclipse hides in silence. In lies, we shine light on them." Lena wiped blood from her lip. "Then we expose them. All of them." Later that week, the Alliance launched a broadcast, not military, not political. It was emotional. It showed survivors of the Volari War, testimonies from Zelari children, footage of human ships arriving during the first call for help. Then, Syrah appeared. She spoke slowly. "You don't have to trust us. But ask yourself one question. When the galaxy turned away from you, who answered? The message was sent to every free world. Some ignored it, but others heard it. And Eclipse, for the first time, felt something new, pressure, inside the Eclipse core." Solasvel watched the message. He crushed a metal data pad in his hand. "The truth," he whispered. "Then we give them truth, they can't survive." He turned to the control unit. "Activate Phase 2. Prepare the flates. We end the Alliance before it begins." The stars above began to shift. New signatures, dozens, hundreds, an entire fleet moving through dark space cloaked. But this time, Reeve was ready. He looked up at the... The warning came just after midnight. Captain Elias Reeve stared at the star map on the command screen. The dots were multiplying fast. "Eclipse fleet entering Sector 4, Lena said. "No signals, no lights. Silent approach." Reeve clenched. His jaw. "How many?" She hesitated. "Over 300 ships, possibly more." The room went quiet. Sarah stepped forward. "They're not hiding anymore." "No," Reeve said. "This is their show of strength." The Alliance ships moved. Fast, Earth's carriers rose from orbit. Voran cruisers took flanking positions. Sister lost years ago to the Volari War. He tapped the comms. "This is Captain Reeve. They think we'll break, that we'll scatter like before. But we've seen fire. We've come through it. This time, we burn back." All channels opened. Alliance crews listened. This time, the Forgotten rise together. In the black silence of space, the Eclipse fleet emerged, dark, smooth, unmarked dot ships designed for fear not honor, and at the center, a colossal vessel unlike the rest. Lena gasped as it appeared on sensors. "It's the Eclipse core. They brought it here." Syrah narrowed her eyes. "They want to end this now." Reeve didn't blink. "Then let's answer them." The first shot came from the Voran. A bright lance of plasma fire sliced through the void, striking an Eclipse frigate. The enemy responded with a wave of missiles. Explosions lit the stars. Earth ships engaged next-launching drone fighters and heavy torpedoes. The Zelari fought with speed, darting through enemy lines. Key dot in the belly of the Eclipse core. Without heat, it passed through the battlefield unseen. And then, something's out there. We can't see it. Like something is bending the stars. Lena's hands flew over controls. "Wait, I see it." On the screen appeared a shape barely visible, black, pulsing. It's camouflaged, not cloaked. It bends light, bends radiation, but it's alive. I think it's feeding on energy. Reeve stood still. It's a weapon. No, Lena whispered. It's worse. It's learning. The Valor took a direct hit. The blast shook the bridge. Alarms blared. We can't stop that thing, Harper shouted. Our weapons aren't locking. Reeve turned to Sarah. After our power, the stronger we fight, the more it feeds. Starve it. Reeve hesitated. Then he gave the order. All ships, ceasefire. Shut down outer weapon grids. Pull power to life support only. Across the battlefield, Alliance ships dimmed. Missiles stopped. Lasers faded. Silence returned. The shade slowed. It twisted in confusion. It looked for energy and found none. It screamed. A silent psychic blast that shook every mind in range. Syrah fell to her knees. Then Drex's voice came through the comms. Now, I've locked its position. Sending coordinates. Reeve slammed the command pad. Fire. Now? Earth's hidden rail cannon, positioned on the far moon, released one shot, a single spike of metal. It tore through space, like a spear. The shade turned and was hit dead center. The creature exploded in a wave of dark energy. The shock wave rippled through Eclipse systems. Many of their ships flickered, slowed, then some simply shut down. Solas Vel gripped the edge of his chair. They killed the shade, an officer said. Vel stood. Then we send the rest. Vel's calm shattered. Too late. From inside the Eclipse core, Vel screamed. Fall back to the Tyros belt. The Eclipse fleet broke formation. Alliance ships pushed forward, but Reeve held them back. No, he said. Let them run. Hours later, Sarah smiled faintly. No, we did. Lena sat nearby, bruised and exhausted. I don't think Eclipse is gone, she said. But we made them bleed, Harper added, and now the galaxy sees them. Reeve looked out at the stars. The battlefield was quiet. Wreckage from the Eclipse fleet drifted through the stars like shattered bones. Ships sparked in silence. Bodies floated in the void. But everyone on Zeller knew it wasn't over. Not yet. Captain Elias Reeve sat in the dim light of the Valor's command room. His uniform was torn, his arm in a sling. A blood-stained bandage crossed his cheek. Ciro entered quietly. They're gathering, she said. The council wants to know what comes next. Reeve looked up at the stars outside the glass. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Ciro sat across from him. We won the battle, but the war. Reeve shook his head. Eclipse will return. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not in ships. But in other ways, division, fear, lies. He looked at her. So the real war is what we do after the fight. Hours later, in the ruins of Zeller's old council chamber now rebuilt and reinforced leaders from Earth. Zeller, the Voran, and other allied worlds gathered. Sarah stood before them, wearing both Earth's and Zeller's insignia on her chest. We have a choice now, she said, her voice calm but strong. We can build a wall, fortify, hide, wait for the next attack. She paused. Or we can build something new. Together, Reeve stepped forward. Eclipse lives in silence. In fear, the best way to kill it for good is to give the galaxy something it hasn't had in a long time. He looked at the gathered leaders. Hope, but deep in the Tyros belt, inside a broken moon base, Solas Vel still breathed. His arm was gone, his body damaged, but his mind remained sharp. A masked officer helped him stand. We failed, the officer said. What now? Vel touched the cold wall of the base. We failed because we played their game. Warships, weapons. He turned slowly. No more armies, no more shadows. We become something they can't touch. He activated a beacon. The lights around the base began to glow. Project Eclipse lives on. Back on Zeller, Lena called Reeve to the communications tower. We intercepted a signal, she said. Encrypted, same frequency as the old council. She played it. The voice was Vel's. You may win your battles, but power never dies. We will become your peace, your law, your protection. One day, you will beg for us to return. The signal ended. Reeve stood still. He wants to become the savior next time. Syrah stepped beside him. Then we must become the voice people listen to first. That evening, a global message was prepared. It would not be a warning. It would not be a threat. It would be a promise. Sarah stood before a simple camera. No makeup, no lights, no stage, just her voice, and the truth: we were forgotten. Once the galaxy turned away from us. Our skies burned, our children starved, and no one came except them. Humanity came not for power, not for conquest, but because they refused to look away. And now we return the favor. We stand with Earth, with Vorin, with any world that was once silenced or ignored. Let eclipse hide in the shadows. We will walk in the light. And when the next world cries for help, they will not cry alone. The message spread across star systems, not as a command, but as a call, a signal of unity, a seed. Months passed. The Alliance began to build, not just weapons, but schools, stations, trade routes. Earth shared its tech. Zeller trained diplomats. Vorin offered archives lost to war. The galaxy slowly began to stitch itself back together. But some systems still watched from the dark. Some still whispered the name Eclipse. And in far, cold places, deep bunkers flickered to life-old council tech, awakening under new hands. But the galaxy was no longer sleeping. One morning, in the academy, a child raised their hand to Sarah. "Will there ever be peace?" She smiled softly. "There will always be storms," she said. "But now we have people who build roofs." Captain Reeve walked the hills of Zeller's green zone, once ash, now full of life. He paused at a small memorial stone. It read, "For the voices who cried out in silence and were heard." He tapped his wrist screen. A message from Earth appeared. New signals detected beyond the rim. Unknown language, untranslatable, possible distress. Do we answer? Reeve smiled. He pressed yes because Earth had made a promise, because Zeller had remembered pain, because the stars had burned once and now they lit a path forward, not for conquest,